Well, howdy, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a charcuterie board. This is my first time building one, but I had a customer who wanted one, and so this will be my first time building a charcuterie board. Usually these are made of walnut, because I don't know where to get walnut other than sawmills and stuff, and I'm not exactly sure where those are at here in this area. I'm going to be using poplar. So for charcuterie boards, I know that most people know what they are, but if you don't, they're basically little serving, depending on the size, it could be little, it could be big, serving trays that you put the food directly onto the board. So you can put like cheeses, meats, basically finger foods. But in this particular one, I'm going to be doing trim around it and then 2 store-bought metal handles. So a little bit different than a normal style, but it should end up looking really good. Okay, so here's my 12 by 1 poplar board. Here's part of my 1 by 3, or 1 by 2, sorry. So it's not a very hard project. I will say that the materials, especially with the hardwood, is more expensive than other projects that I have made in the past. But this is my first time and I know I'm going to enjoy it, so let's get into building it. Okay guys, so once again I'm going to be doing, it's going to be 42 inches. She gave me a custom dimensions of what she wanted, so this is actually an extra large compared to what other people make. Kind of unique, I guess. But anyway, yeah, it's just going to be 42 inches, obviously, depending on the size that you're making, depends on the size, the length that you're going to be doing it, but for this particular one, it's going to be 42 inches, so. Okay. So that's how long our board's going to be. Obviously you can tell it's pretty long of a board, pretty long of a charcuterie board, but that's 42 inches. Let me grab a tape measure just to make sure. Yep, 42 inches exactly. Okay, so next thing we're going to be doing is taking our 1 by, it's not my ears fast, 1 by 2s, and we're going to be cutting them down to the exact trim, or the exact measurements of the board. So let me give you an example real fast. Okay, so here on this edge, it's going to be exactly like this. So you can see obviously these are a little bit longer. We're going to want these to be the shorter, so we're going to want this side, these 2 shorter sides, to be exactly the same size as this one, and these will actually overlay this one as well. So we're going to be cutting this down as well to, let's see what that is. 11/20, yeah, so yeah, 11 1/4. So we're going to be cutting down this one to 11 1/4. Okay, so here it is cut down to 11 1/4. You see that fits pretty flush. But what I didn't realize, and what I'm realizing now, which is totally fine, it's a good thing it happened this early in the process, was the total length is going to be 42 inches. So this is going to be adding another 1/2 inch on both sides. That's an extra inch, or I guess 3/4, so about 1.5 inches, 1 1/4, somewhere in there, extra. So we're actually going to have to cut this off an extra 1.5 inches. So that way we get 42 inches all the way across. Okay, so here it is. This would make it pretty much 42 inches. It would be flush like that. Obviously I had to sand it, as you can see the splinters and stuff coming out of there, but we're basically going to be doing that there. Put the camera over here, putting that one here, and then we're going to be doing 2 longer pieces across here. So these are going to have to be a little bit bigger than what this is long, because obviously it needs to cover these as well. So whatever this is, which is 42 inches, or not anymore, let's see. Just measure it all together. Okay, so it's about 42 1/4. That's how long we're gonna want these trim pieces to be, is 42 1/4. Okay, so here you can see it. I mean, this is with the trim pieces. Obviously they're not attached, but it's pretty simple to do so far. So I'm just gonna be using glue, Type-On 3. and then brad nailing it. I mean, then the only thing to do is to attach the handles and, well, actually, I don't know if it'd be better if I went ahead and stained it. Just stained it each piece separately, that way it's easier to, it looks a lot better and stuff, and I can test the color. So I might do that. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the stain and see what I can do. So just in case you're curious, I'm gonna be using Watco butcher block and stain. That way the stain and everything is food grade for food contact. Definitely very important with things like this and utensils and things like that. If you had black walnut, or if you just wanted this color, then just go ahead and put the conditioner, the oil or the conditioner or something like that on there to make it better. But because we wanted a little bit darker and a different color, I guess I should say, I'm going to use this. This will be my first time using this. Seems pretty easy, but we'll see. It says to use a clean cloth, so I'm assuming that means no brushes, which is what I use anyway. I always use a cloth anyway, but so for this I'm actually going to use an old sock. I'm going to go ahead and sand it down, just make sure I get it really smooth, and then we'll go over it. So dip it in. It's actually a real nice color. A little bit of this stuff goes a long way. I'm actually surprised. Okay, so now that we got it all stained and pre-assembled, we're gonna go ahead and finalize the assembling by using brad nails and glue. Okay guys, so here it is, completely done. The only thing it's missing is the handles, which are, these are them right here. These are just 7 5/8 length of it, and basically they're just going to be going right here. And then obviously on the other side as well. Just kind of gives you a grip to hold, that way when you have your cheeses and hams and all that kind of stuff, just can grab it from there instead of from the bottom. But now comes the tricky part. This probably isn't as tricky as I'm thinking it's going to be. I should have done this a little bit differently. I should have went ahead and countersinked and drilled through these already, because now I'm going to have to bring this over to the drill press and have this whole thing that I have to deal with instead of just this little piece right here. So note to self, next time go ahead and do this first for the handles. But what was awesome is because these handles come with these tiny, little machine screws. So when you come over here, we have to countersink. So when you bring it over to here, we're gonna have to countersink underneath here in order to have it lift up to here, but see how small these machine screws are. This is where it's flush with the bottom, and it still doesn't even come out the top. So that means I'm gonna have to countersink all the way up till about there. With this piece of wood being a 1x2, I'm afraid that might split it going that far in, and also really hurts the integrity of the wood. Well, I was like, well, maybe I have to go to Walmart and buy myself some machine screws that are longer that would actually fit it. But praise the Lord, I looked inside of our drawer in there, I couldn't find any. I moved all the stuff to where I could look to the back of the drawer, and there was a whole box of these. I mean, just look at that. Just look how much less I have to countersink. Maybe just ½ an inch. So praise the Lord for that. Let's take it over to the drill press and get this drilled. Okay, so next up is the countersink. You're only going to want to go in just a little bit depending on the size of your screws. You're going to have to, but for me, about countersinking maybe to there, do good. So just countersink according to what your screw is, but anyway. Okay, so they've been countersinked. Just gonna take our screw. Just go very slow with the drill. You could do this by hand, or I just slowly do it with a drill. Underneath it, and there it is. Big enough to attach the handle to. So I'm gonna do the rest of them, and then I'll show you the end product. Well guys, here it is. All nicely done. Ready to be given to the customer. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys try it. It's actually a very fun project to do. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.